Yeah, sure. Sure. What? Okay. I can guarantee you that I will not be using that. Oh, the main screen also changed. No. So, how do I feel about this game? So far, I think I like just about everything besides... I feel like the combo mechanic is a little too restricted in this game. And then also the buttons not being remappable is one very big thing. And then another thing that maybe was not as obvious, but I would also like more, is I feel like this game is too easy. That's of course an opinion coming from somebody who's very used to playing these games. But I genuinely feel like this game on the highest difficulty that's available on New Game is too easy. Like, I would definitely prefer it to be a bit harder on the first playthrough than so far what I have experienced. But that is very subjective, I guess. So there's that. But yeah, if we are talking about some other stuff besides difficulty, then the combos are too restricted in this game. Example, if I say do 2 light attacks and then I do 2 heavy attacks, if the game considers that a combo, everything will work and nothing will get cancelled, and my character will just not sit there looking stupid, you know? But if I do say a heavy light, heavy light or something like that, then because the game does not count that as an official combo within the game's mechanics, then it will likely only do, say, light, heavy, light, but then it will not do the last heavy. It will start a different attack after the previous combo has fully ended. Or, if let's say a combo is heavy, light, heavy, then if I do heavy, light, and then light attack, so 3 light attacks after 1 heavy, instead of doing heavy 2 light attacks and then a heavy, because that's considered a combo, then Eve will simply just stand there on her finisher position on the second last attack of the combo, and she will not do anything until a certain period of self-stun lock is over. So if you remember a combo that you want to use wrong, and you press a button that's not in the combo at all, then she will just stand there and do nothing for a moment. And that is something that no other game that has any of these combo mechanics that I have played does. So what I'm saying is that is just an unnecessary clunky to have the mechanic work that way. So that's one bad thing fundamentally from some gameplay there. Anything else bad? I mean, it's just the PS5 is the rest. I mean, the game ran fine, but it's just there's some visual glitches that happen, and the FSR also is not very good in this game. Like, there's a lot of shimmering and noise on textures in this game, especially when you look at like further distances. And some of it, like Eve's hair, for example, like can be really fucking distracting at times when you look at, not even like if you just squint or something, just look at some details. No, even in just the main presentation, like looking at like the equipment, for example, and you see her like half body picture there, like you see the like ghosting on her hair, like it is actually like distracting to look at, you know, like genuinely. Like, but that's just the PS5 thing though, so... It is just the performance mode on the PS5, and... I mean, it was still happening even on the fidelity mode, but it was happening a lot less. But, you know, then you're playing on 30 FPS, so how about now? So, just that, I guess. But, the game itself... Negatives. The combos. The self-stun on the combos, when you press a button that's not intended on the combo, is counterintuitive. The gameplay that is supposed to be fast-paced, to be so punishing when you mispress a button. Probably shouldn't be that punishing. The game feels a little too easy for my taste. I would like it to be tougher, but I guess it's about to get tougher, because that was like... I think we just got the meat and the potatoes of this game right about now, I think. After we got to Zion, so now it's gonna become probably a lot more interesting, like it already did, anyway. Anything else bad, possibly? Like, there's an overwhelming amount of good things that I like about this game, that it's easier to pick out the bad things. You know? So, anything else bad, then? No, I really can't think of anything else bad. It's just... PS5 and the combos feeling a little clunky if you press the wrong button. And the controls not being remappable. But that's not exactly the game's problem, that's just a stupid design decision to not be able to remap them. Or even to simply change the light and the heavy attack to R1 and R2. It makes it so that when you're attacking at the same time with square and triangle, and you have the dodge button on circle, you have to either focus on only parrying at the same time when you attack, so you can use your two different hands to parry with L1 and then attack with the thumb on the other hand, with the PS5 DualSense controller. But if you want to dodge an attack instead of parrying every attack, then you have to take your thumb off the attacking buttons to be able to dodge at the same time, for momentarily. So it creates an annoying prediction game where you have to like predict if you have to dodge the next attack or if you want to dodge the next attack instead of just trying to parry everything, you know? So that's just... That is just bad design that I feel like they intentionally overlooked. Because it definitely doesn't have to be like that whatsoever. Also, some new chatter. I understand your point after just 10 hours and just being in the beginning of the game. Play the whole game and discover all the other settings have not figured out. What? All the other settings? What do you mean by settings? All the other settings. I never said anything bad about this game's like... Well, if you are being very literary, then this game's like setting, like premise, narration, anything like that. That's all really good in this game. I said only some very few like bad things, and most of those are just nitpicks. Like the PS5, like the ghosting issue, that's just a nitpick of the like system that you play it on. But then again, it's a PS5 exclusive, so you just have to fucking deal with it, I guess. Eventually, when the game comes on PC and you're able to play it there, then that problem will suddenly disappear. And then the other thing, I mean, I guess one really, like, true, like, bad thing, I guess, is the combo mechanic. Like, I feel like it is too restrictive. Like, it punishes you too much if you remember a combo wrong when you use them. So I kind of already explained this, but in case you're listening, I suppose. If let's say that you have a 4-attack combo where you have a heavy attack, light, and then a heavy attack. If that's a combo that the game accepts, everything will play out as expected, and the last attack will leave Eve open for being attacked for a longer period of time than any of the other attacks, because you just finished the combo that dealt a lot of damage, right? There's nothing wrong with that part. However, let's say that you do a heavy, light attack. So you do 3 light attacks instead of 2 light attacks before the last heavy attack that finishes the combo chain. Well, if the game does not recognize the heavy, light attack as a combination of attacks, then what happens is Eve does heavy, light, and then she will completely ignore the last attack on the combination of attacks. So when you light attack 3 times, she will just sit there doing nothing for half a second or so, and you just might get randomly attacked or lose tempo or whatever because you forgot what the last attack in the combo that you were doing was. I have never seen or played a game that has combo attacks like, you know, God of War, I suppose, or like, I guess, like any game that flows like heavy or light attacks together does the same thing, where it is so like punishing if the game does not like accept the input that you put in the combo chain. Like usually what ends up happening is if you have a combo of attacks in a game with light and heavy attacks, if you do an attack that does not fully flow on the combo chain, then what ends up happening is the combo gets cancelled and you start a new fresh attack of the attack you just input. So example of this would be if you have a game that has a light to heavy attack combo chain, so just 2 attacks, 1 light to heavy, and that combos somehow. Let's say that you do a light, but instead of doing another heavy attack, you do another light attack. Well, I guess that example wasn't the best because most games have more than 1 light attacks on the combo chain. But anyway, imagine that you do a light and a light attack. It does first 1 normal light attack, but then it restarts the light attack combo because it does not recognize 2 light attacks in a like one after another as a combination of attacks. So it restarts the attack chain, but it will not punish you by having to self-stun the player momentarily because you pressed the wrong button. It does not do that. No game that I have ever played does that, in fact. This is the only game that does it. So that's just fundamentally like punishing design that where it doesn't have to be. They could just take that like animation style off when you do a combo wrong and just restart an attack chain on the attack you input. Like, it's a very easy thing that they could implement, and that would fix that only actual gameplay issue that I just mentioned. The only thing. But yeah, overwhelming amount of good things in this game though. I expected that I was gonna like it a lot, and I do like it a lot. Music is great, setting is great, characters are great, voice acting is very good, the story is interesting, narrative direction is also intriguing, the background lore is interesting to follow, the game graphically feels really incredible setting-wise as well. It has a lot of charm, the areas are intricately built and are actually fun to explore. And there's a lot of respect to the player and not that much hand-holding as well. It's really nice. I don't think you say anything that is bad, but I have made 15 playthroughs and I think you might change your mind about it being easy. Also, there's a hard mode in the second playthrough you might like. Yeah, I mean, I did say before that like we just got into the meat and potatoes of the game, so I feel like the game is gonna pick up a lot more after. Like, this is kind of like every game has this point where like you do some kind of like introduction area kind of, and then you like get into the like main part of the game where it becomes like say maybe more cohesive experience, I guess. And I think I just maybe hit that point here. Since we got to Zion and then I met our engineer, so I think now it's gonna be about the point where it becomes more of the kind of experience that this game is gonna produce for the rest of the playthrough, I think. But yeah, really good game. What a surprise. I knew I was gonna like it, and I do like it.